Hi, I'm Jarius Shaheen. I'm a licensed professional counselor in Missouri, and I want to let you know why I let clients see that I'm human. Shout out to SnapPro, friend of mine's company, audiovisual. Thanks for the shirt. Somewhere along the way, many of us learned that professionalism meant becoming invisible. Keep your private life private. Keep your keep your personality small. Keep the focus only on the work. Uh, of course, the work matters, but the work has always been done by a person. I'm not saying to just let clients know everything about you all the time. That's not good. There's supposed to be boundaries. That's the whole idea of being ethical, confidential in nature, etc. You don't want to put your bias in the room. Um, but you know what? I took some PTO this week, and this week looked nothing like a counseling office, but was very therapeutic. There were projects, coffee, family moments, roads traveled, ideas scribbled down, things that worked, things that didn't work, just life. I've come to believe something pretty important, I think. The healthier we become as therapists, the less we have to hide our humanity. Our lives don't compete with our clinical work. Not really. They enrich it. Every conversation we have, every challenge that we face, every moment of wonder, gratitude, frustration, or even joy becomes another way we grow in empathy. We gain perspective, we gain wisdom. Clients, they don't need a perfect therapist. They need grounded ones. People who know what it feels like to build a life while also helping others to build theirs. That's why you'll occasionally see pieces of me. You'll get to know my story. In the counseling room, my story is not about you or the client. My story is not to interject. It's not to take over. But because every healthy therapist should have a life worth living outside the therapy room, it's going to be brought in somehow. You're going to do your best to not let it leak, to not let it impact. Every once in a while, it's okay to let people know the human behind the license. The therapeutic relationship starts with two humans. Not a human and a robot, not a human and AI. Sure, technology, tools, etc., those are things to take advantage of. But two humans in a room sharing life, talking about pain, sometimes the most in-depth pain someone can experience. Talking about fears that maybe they've never uttered or shared with anybody else. Breaking down in tears of joy, seeing their progress, their hopes. Sometimes years later, as a therapist, seeing clients achieve their dreams. It doesn't make sense to expect a shell of a person. That's not what I'm asking. I do expect newly licensed individuals to practice in a way that's not overly sharing, not overly touchy, not overly connected, because it takes a while to build your craft. It takes a while to tinker with the praxis that you're providing your community. You don't want to harm anybody. you definitely don't want to limit anybody. You definitely don't want to box people in based on your own biases as a therapist. So these sorts of glimpses, therapists have lives. Some you may see more than others. Some are very intentional about sharing or not sharing. A healthy practice begins with a healthy therapist. There's all these components of a therapist's life, just like anyone else. When one steps into a therapeutic alliance, which is what it's called, building that rapport with clients, there tends to be a natural sort of unspoken power dynamic of, well, they've gone to school and they know what they're talking about, and I just want the answer, and they're there to give it to me. That's definitely not the dynamic at play. Yes, there's a license there, and that holds a type of authority, meaning the person does have knowledge, they do have expertise. You came to them, but that does not empower or overshadow uh, the client. The client is the one that comes in with the full understanding of what's going on in their world, and we get to be part of that. We get a glimpse of their life. Maybe sometimes they'll get a glimpse of ours.